starts on page 53. Remember, we said once before that an equation is something that had an equal sign. A lot of times this chapter we've been working with expressions that don't have equal signs. Equations do have equal signs. There are three types of equations. They can be true, false, or open, and we'll talk about each one of those. A true equation means that both sides of the equal sign are the same. So if you look at the left side, you look at the right side, you'll have the same value on both sides. A false equation means that both sides are not the same. So whatever you get on the left, it's not the same as whatever's on the right. That would be false. And an open equation means that there's a variable in the equation somewhere. If you see a variable at all, that means it's going to be an open equation. Some examples of these are the following equations going to be true, false, or open. So there's the first one. The first thing I noticed about this equation A is that there's y's in it. Y is a variable, and we know from that other screen that if you have a variable, it's automatically an open equation. So the answer to that one is open because there's a variable. The next one, 16 minus 7 equals 4 plus 5. If I do the math on the left, 16 minus 7 is 9. If I do the math on the right, 4 plus 5 is 9. Since 9 is equal to 9, that makes it a true equation. So you do the math on both sides and see if you get something that's true. Letter C, if we do the math on the left, 32 divided by 8, that gives me 4. 2 times 3 on the right gives me 6. 4 is not equal to 6, so that would be a false equation. So you've got one example of each right there. Variable means that it's open. If I get something like 9 equals 9, that's true. If I get something like 4 equals 6, that's false. Another definition, a solution is a value for the variable that makes the equation true. So if they give me a number and I plug it into my equation, if I get something that's true, that's called a solution. If I get something that's false, that's not a solution. Here's an example. So they tell me that y equals negative 9. And I'm supposed to plug it into that equation, y plus 1 equals 8. So if I take negative 9, plug it into my equation, is negative 9 plus 1, does that equal 8? No, it doesn't. Negative 9 plus 1 is negative 8, and negative 8 is not the same thing as positive 8. That makes this equation false, so negative 9 would not be a solution. We've been doing some translating here in Chapter 1. Here's one more step in translating. If you're translating, the word is means equal sign. So wherever you see is, you put the equal sign. Write an equation for this sentence. The sum of x and 7 is 12. Sum of means plus. The word of is matched up with sum, so you have to look for the word and. The word is in there. That means equal sign. So we end up with x plus 7 equals 12. New topic. Most of what we're going to do in algebra this year is solving equations. We're trying to figure out what value works for our variable. We're going to learn lots of different ways to do this. The first one is today. The first one we're going to use is just mental math. In the last times we've been doing mental math, we said that you have to show work. You can't just do it all in your head. With this set of mental math in this section, you pretty much can just do it all in your head. There's not really any work to show. Example, what is the solution of 12 minus y equals 3? So 12 minus something gives me an answer of 3. What does that something have to be? What goes in the spot where y is? It would have to be a 9, because 12 minus 9 equals 3. Now, whenever you're solving an equation, you can always check your answer to make sure it's right. You might think that that's an extra step that you don't have to do. Well, you probably don't have to do it, but if you want to make sure you have the right answer, this is how you do it. It just takes a little extra work, a little extra effort to make sure that you have the right answer. You can always check your solutions by plugging them back into the equation that you started with to see if it's true. So in the problem up there, we had that y equals 9. So if we plug in 9 for y, we get 12 minus 9 equals 3. And if we do the math, we get 3 equals 3. That makes it true, so we know that our answer was right. 9 is the correct answer because we plugged it in and got something that was true. So the first way you can solve an equation is using mental math. You can just look at it and try to figure out what the answer is supposed to be. There's 2 other ways that we're going to solve equations today. You can use a table. This is kind of like a guess and check method. So you guess an answer, see if it works. If it's not the right answer, you guess again. What is the solution of 25 plus 3p equals 55? Now, I know that some of you are probably able to look at it and figure out what the answer is, but I want you to go through the steps anyway, because they start off with an easy problem to show you the steps, and then they're going to give you harder problems later on that you won't be able to do in your head. All you're going to do here is you're going to guess different numbers for p until you find the right one that works. Okay? So I'm going to set up a little table here. And in the first column, I have values for p. In the second column, I'm going to show my work. And in the third column, I'm going to have my value or my answer. So I'm going to guess that p equals 8. That's what's in the first column. So I plug in an 8, and I get 3 times 8, which is 24. 25 plus 24 gives you 49. That's not what we're trying to get. We were trying to get 55. So 49 doesn't work. Now, do I need my answer to go up or down? I got 49, I need 55. That means I have to go up. So I'm going to guess another value for p that's a little bit higher. So I'm going to plug in 9. If I plug in 3 times 9, that's 27. Add 25 to that, and I get 52. Again, I was looking for an answer of 55, so that doesn't work. I still need to go a little bit higher, right? So I pick another value for p. Let's say I plug in 10. 3 times 10 is 30. Add 25 to that, and I get 55. That is the answer I was trying to get. So I can put a green check mark next to it because that's what I was trying to find. I just wanted to show one more. I found the right answer. You don't have to show another one after that, but just in case, if I would have plugged in 11, 3 times 11 is 33, plus 25 is 58, and that's too high. I was trying to get 55, so I know that 58 doesn't work either. You set up a table, you plug in values for p until you find the answer that's the right one. Now, sometimes you're not going to find exactly the right answer because the answer comes in between 2 of your numbers. Then you're estimating a solution. To estimate a solution, find 2 values that your solution is in between. So, if I had the problem 3x plus 3 equals 22, and it says estimate, so I know that I'm not going to find the exact answer. Here's what I do with my table. Same thing. I'm going to have a column for my guesses, and a column where I show my work, and then a column for whatever the answers are when I plug them in. So I'm just going to guess something for x. You can guess any number you want. I'm going to guess 5. If I plug in a 5, I get 3 times 5, which is 15, plus 3, which is 18. 18's too low. Remember, I'm trying to get to 22. 18's too low, so that doesn't work. So I look higher. Instead of plugging in a 5, I'm going to plug in a 6. 3 times 6 is 18, plus 3 is 21. Remember, I'm trying to get to 22, so 21 doesn't work either. I need to go higher. If I plug in a 7, 3 times 7 is 21, plus 3 is 24. I was trying to get to 22. Now I'm too high, right? My value, 22, it comes in between these two, right? 22 comes in between 21 and 24. Since this comes in between those two values, it means that my answer for x comes in between these two values, 6 and 7. I don't know exactly what the answer is. I'm trying to estimate. Since 22 comes between 21 and 24, that means my solution is between 6 and 7, and that's how you write it, between two numbers. It's between 6 and 7. That's my estimate. Kind of a short lesson this time. That is the end of section 8. These are the problems I'm going to give you tomorrow to work on as your practice problems. You can go ahead and work on them ahead if you'd like.